I can get two things done before I leave. Hey, Mr. Bill, how are you? Hi.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's only half of
Yeah. You got it?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here this morning. We're going to go ahead and get started. Today, you're going to hear our State of the District presented this morning by Superintendent Marganna Stanley. Superintendent Stanley is an HCHS graduate. She spent 29 years in education, and all of those years have been in Henderson County. This year is her 5th year as Superintendent of Henderson County Schools. So please join me in welcoming Superintendent Marganna Stanley.
Thank you all very much for taking time to allow us to come do a State of the District address for you. We want to provide you with an update for the Henderson County Schools and to inform you of some of the new things that we have started. Before we begin, if we could all, this is a very important day in American history, and so if we could all take a moment of silence and think of the families and victims of September 11th in 2001, please. Thank you. I knew when I was a little girl that I wanted to teach. I played school all the time when I was little. I would take my stuffed animals and line them up in rows. brothers anytime that I could, sometimes my cousins, and they would let me boss them around. They would let me read to them and teach them everything I think that I could. And then one day my dad came home, and he had been to an auction, and he brought me the greatest piece of technology that I ever thought I could have at home. And it was a real school blackboard. It was taller than me, it was gigantic, like big size, and he also brought one of those long, thin erasers that we had that you could erase, not one of the little small ones, but one of those long ones that you clap, you know. So I thought I was on fire. At that time, I could teach anything and anybody that would be still long enough that I could have them write on the chalkboard, or I would read to them. And that passion to teach students is still very much alive in me. She mentioned 29 years, but I love what I do in Henderson County schools. I love the passion that it takes and the endurance that it takes to teach children and to teach adults in some ways, to lead adults. But I think what I enjoy the most about being superintendent is the quality of people that I work with in our community and in our schools and at the district office. They all strive with that same passion to teach students, and they are all expect adults in our building and kids to live to that level of excellence in all we do. So I really want to start this morning by recognizing all of our principals, because that passion, that same passion that I have to teach kids, I know lies in each of them. So would any principal that's with us this morning please stand? And any district office administrator, please stand. Any district staff, please stand. It's a very quality group of individuals that have that genuine passion of excellence. Thank you so much. So as we start, we know that a thriving public education system is a foundation of a healthy community, and high quality access of teaching and learning is every student's right. I understand that transformational power of a great educational system and the impact and difference it can have on a community and for our students. Our mission, our vision, and our core values align to ensure that that positive change happens for our students. So our main purpose for today's presentation is to communicate our progress and highlight opportunities for our students. Schools and student learning is very different than how we remember it, very different than when I played school on a blackboard many years ago. This year at our convocation, I challenged our staff to rev it up. And by that I meant start to think outside the box. Think untraditionally. Take risks and accept new challenges of how teaching students has to evolve. Provide authentic learning for our students. So as we started this school year, we've enrolled almost 7,500 students. We employ a little over 1,100 extraordinary staff throughout our 13 schools. Our students are very diverse, and that has changed. It changes every year. It becomes more diverse. We've increased the number of students who have English as a second language. Currently, our homeless number is at 66, but we know that by the end of a school year, it's not uncommon for us to have over 300 identified at that point. Our gifted and talented teachers provide our students with leadership, creativity, and academic enrichment. We have teachers, all of our teachers are required to obtain 24 hours of professional development every year, and until a few weeks ago, all teachers were required also to obtain their master's degree. We're very proud that we have 21 teachers in our school district that are National Board certified teachers, and those teachers just choose to go on to become National Board certified. We have 55 staff members that are currently Google certified throughout our schools and our district office. All staff throughout our district have the opportunity to grow in the job positions that they're in, and also to be recognized. During our monthly board meetings, that's an opportunity where we recognize our students and our staff for great, outstanding achievements. On Convocation Day, we do something that's very special that's called Make a Difference, and that is where students acknowledge a particular staff member who has made a difference in their life. It's all, we also, at our closing day, our staff members can nominate other staff, so peer to peer, and nominate them as being an excellent example of one of our 7 core values. And so those recognitions we do as well. Maybe one of the favorite things that we do in the Henderson County Schools with our staff members is to have ultimate challenges. Now those are friendly competitions from school to school, and we, our staff will participate in bowling, trivia night, volleyball, cornhole, and the school that wins those different events gets a certain amount of points, and then throughout the year those points accumulate for a grand champion, which is announced on that closing day activity as well. This year we are actually going to add an event, and that event is going to be archery. So we're going to see how well our staff can compete against each other from school to school with their archery skills. It is a lot of fun, and it truly is a good time for our staff. One of the great things about our staff as a whole is that they work diligently to inspire our students. And so here's a short video clip of how some of our folks are inspired.
Every day, my awesome kiddos inspire me. Our preschoolers inspire us. Music inspires us.
Just 4 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready.
Helping families inspires me.
My community inspires me. Helping and happy kids inspire us. Technology inspires me.
Leadership inspires me.
Athletics inspires me.
Students reading inspire me. Getting down on them, but in a good way. It don't go yet.
Possibilities inspire me.
Visitors and volunteers inspire me.
When everything's working right, it inspires me and the maintenance department.
Hungry kids inspire us.
The last 8 steps inspire me.
I am inspired by the future.
And the future of Spottsville School is very close. We are very proud of the academic achievements in our school district. Our leadership leads every day by our core values and expects excellence in all we do. I must also comment that this is currently one of our most challenging areas to show progress and compare our progress. And by that I mean every year the targets that the state sets for our schools change. They change. And as recent as last Wednesday, the Kentucky Board of Education met and determined new scale cut scores for us in the accountability system. This occurred after we've already received our student data from the spring, and the response from the interim commissioner and the governor-controlled Kentucky Board of Education was to expect 45 to 50% of the schools this year to be in targeted assistance. So it's frustrating because we take that state test in May for 5 days, and we've worked all year long for goal setting with our students, talking about grit and determination, and then there's a change between how we can measure our kids between distinguished, proficient, apprentice, and novice. It's frustrating for our principals, it's frustrating for our teachers, most importantly, it's frustrating for our students. We do know that we continue to show growth, student by student, with our internal normed referent tests that we use, such as star reading or map testing, and that we're very proud that we have another school that's nominated to receive the recognition as a Blue Ribbon School. And we hope to know our final status on that nomination within the next couple weeks. Starting in preschool and continuing until our kids graduate, there are many opportunities for our students to be successful in their studies, successful in character development, and successful in their ability to transition into college, tech training, or a career. So the list that you see today is not by any means all-inclusive. We're just highlighting some of the different programs that we use. I do want to mention that the archery team, year after year, is a program that encompasses the largest amount of students that participate, grades 3 through 12. Third grades no longer can compete, but they start to practice. So fourth grade's where competition starts. And our kids repeatedly score championship in district, regional, state, national, and world competitions. That's a great avenue of opportunity for our kids. Kindergarten readiness is another piece that we focus on every year. Thelma B. Johnson was the first preschool to receive a 21st Century grant, a significant amount of money, and Miss Ashby uses that funding to program extended time for students who walk in the building without basic readiness, academic skills, or social skills. This year, Thelma B. Johnson, right next door, has 478 3- and 4-year-olds enrolled in the program. We did a little progressive schedule change this year, and so traditionally our preschool students attended 4 half-days, but this year we're going 2 full days. So on Mondays and Wednesday, if there's a North Elementary feeder school, then the preschool children go all day, and on Tuesday and Thursday it's a South feeder system program. Last year was our first year for an early college program. 21 students went to the Henderson Community College full-time. We're very appreciative with our Henderson Community College partners. This year, we've even expanded to Madisonville Community College and Henderson Community College to allow access for more students into an early college program. An early college student could take up to 60 hours a year if they choose. And so if you're enrolled in 2 years in the early college program, if you start as a junior at the high school and you take the 60 hours, you pay $56 for a credit hour, your folks or somebody in your family would pay $3,360, really for an associate degree. If our students wait and do that once they graduate high school, they'll pay $169 per credit hour and spend over $10,000 working on getting their associate degree. Our high school also has a very strong advanced placement program with over 442 students taking AP classes, and another 231 students take dual credit classes. So some students choose not to do the early college program where they go to the community college all day long. They might take 2 or 3 dual credit and 2 or 3 high school classes, and they have a high school schedule. Last year, our 2018 graduates received $7.1 million in scholarship offerings. And we also learned that the U.S. News and World Report ranked Henderson County High School 27th within the state of Kentucky among the high schools. That is considered in the top 10% of the high schools in our state. And in addition, only 1 of 2 schools in western Kentucky that received that type of recognition. A part of our high school is our CTE program that many of you are very familiar with, and our business and industry partnerships are critical for the success at Henderson County High School. These partnerships allow real-life experiences to better prepare them for life. Every May, our students walk across the stage to graduate, and as Mr. Thompson said in the video, down those last 8 steps, and then they leave us. They're 17 or 18 years old. In August of the same year, the high school counselors contact every one of those graduates and record what they're doing. This is considered our transition data, and that helps us determine how successful we are at getting our kids to be life ready. Our data, as you can see, shows that our trends are somewhere between 8 and 9% considered really unknown. Those were students we could not reach, so we're unknown as to what they are doing. But that leaves 90% of our students that we know have told us are attending college full-time, they're working in attending college part-time, they've enrolled in a vocational or technical training, they're working, or they have joined the military. Athletics and activities, after-school clubs, are a significant part in a student's life in the Henderson County Schools. And winning or losing, our coaches have the commitment that character comes first. The development of our young athletes is more than a winning season. The belief that when you put on a maroon and white jersey, you're representing something bigger than you is very prevalent in our middle schools and high schools, and same in the elementary schools. The maroon and white says that I'm a role model for other students and for this community, and I must know what that responsibility is and use it wisely. Our coaches also encourage that our athletes, and when I say athletes, I'm also speaking of band and choir and FFA kind of thing, all inclusive, provide strong community and service throughout our community, and they volunteer. They help with building a bed program. They volunteer at the Salvation Army. They volunteer at the soup kitchens, Riverview Burgoo. They even at times have helped our elderly with moving assistance when needed. Healthy students are happy students, and many of you are already aware that we have implemented student random drug screening in the Henderson County Schools. We've had staff random drug screening for several years. We're also pleased to announce this year that all of our schools are eligible to participate in the free and reduced lunch service, which is free to our students. This is a federally funded program that we get federal reimbursements for, so it's not a local taxpayer funded piece that our kids participate in. We also are fortunate in Henderson that we have nurses or nurse assistants in all of our schools, and that's certainly not the case in other school districts. Our nurses and assistants provide guidance to our students. We have many students who use EpiPens, food allergies, diabetics. We have students with feeding tubes, and our nurses or nurse assistants also administer several medications daily as well. They also provide our staff with any medical updates that are necessary or trainings to make sure our kids are healthy is also. Our administrative costs, when I think of district operations, are actually very minimal. Administrative costs are only 1.7% of our budget. The majority of our money does go to the classrooms for instructional purposes. The placemat that you have right there in front of you gives you lots of different statistics about the Henderson County schools. And the one that has resources, I think it's up in the right-hand corner, kind of breaks down a little bit of information about our budget. And then if there's any additional information you want to know about our finances, please check out our website where our full finances are always posted out there for people to be able to see and review. Facilities, when the nickel tax was proposed a few years ago, the Henderson County Schools had $135 million of unmet needs in all of our buildings and schools. That revenue has allowed us to focus on upgrading our learning spaces for our students. Leaky roofs, we've done quite a bit of repaving for our blacktop, replacement and repair of our athletic fields and spaces. The new revenue has also allowed us to hone in on some school safety issues, such as the vestibule that was built last year at Henderson County High School. In the month of August, our board also approved several other projects which will allow for the remainder of the schools to have a vestibule built within their school as well. Hopefully starting sometime this spring and into the summer, those will be ready to go. School safety is always in the forefront and the attention in the Henderson County schools. And this year we've added several new safety initiatives that we would like to share with you.
Hello, I'm Marganna Stanley, Superintendent of the Henderson County Schools. Rigorous coursework, strong character development, and 5 world-class skills are what we work on to build a better graduate. We educate the whole child, socially, emotionally, and physically. We also believe that no child should go to school in fear, and that our parents and our guardians should have reasonable expectations that his or her child is safe. It is important to remind our parents and our students that our policies and procedures are in place to ensure a safe learning environment. This year we have in place some new initiatives and some procedures, and we'd like to take the opportunity to share those with you to ensure that safety for all of our students and our staff.
School safety here at Henderson County High School even starts outside at front entrance areas. One of the things that our maintenance group did for us this summer was install bollards. Number one, to cut down on congestion in this area and to prevent an issue where a car might drive through the front entrance area. You will also find here at Henderson County High School enhanced lighting as well as additional security cameras for the outside of the building. That's a great time to step inside and look at security measures that we use inside Henderson County High School.
All Henderson County schools use an intercom system for visitors to communicate with staff before entering the building. New this year at the high school is a badge system scanner for staff to use, replacing keys being used at the doors. All schools use a dedicated sign-in system requiring all visitors to scan their identification. New this year at all schools is the alerting system, an emergency panic button. All schools have metal detector wands that can and will be used if necessary.
One of the most visible changes you will see at Henderson County High School, and soon to be at our other schools, is a safety vestibule. A safety vestibule is an area that parents and volunteers can walk into a school, wait patiently, and it also adds a layer of safety for our students. Here at Henderson County High School, there are over 60 security cameras we use each and every day. In addition to those cameras, we also have cameras throughout the school system at different school sites. One of the areas that will increase again this year is our bus fleet. We're hoping to get around 80 to 85% of our fleet having cameras on the buses as well. Supervision is another area of concern for us. So each day during class change, during peak times in and out of the school building, staff will be stationed around the school watching and monitoring as kids come to and fro. As soon as the bell rings for instruction to begin, classroom doors are locked, teachers begin teaching. I'm seated at our SRO office here at Henderson County High School. SRO stands for School Resource Officer. The School Resource Officer provides safety and relationship building for our students and staff. It's an integral part of Henderson County School.
I'm Officer Spike Carter. I've been employed with the Henderson Police Department for 5 years in May. I graduated from Henderson County High School in 2011, so I'm excited to be back at the school I graduated from, see the teachers that I had whenever I was in high school, and also connect with the kids. Because one of the big mentors I had while I was in high school was Officer Cox at the time, was a school resource officer. So I kind of want to be that mentor to the kids that he was to me. So relationships are important. I want them to feel safe with me being around, but I also want them to understand that I can be their mentor, but I'm not their best friend, because I'm not going to get them out of trouble. I'm here to protect all the kids.
The relationships that we've built over the last few years with our emergency responders have been vital and key to providing safety and security for all students in our school system. One of the ways this year that they've provided additional support for us is every Thursday they take time out of their schedules to meet with our staff on 2 different areas: avoid, deny, defend, and then also on stop the bleeding for our teachers. School safety is important to me, not only as a professional, but also as a parent.
Henderson County Schools has implemented the Stop Tip line for online reporting of concerns about threats of violence or any issue involving the safety of students. This follows our See Something, Hear Something, Say Something message. Henderson County Schools embraces digital citizenship and offers sessions for parents and students on how to be safe online. Youth mental health first aid trainings are offered to the community and designed to teach parents, family members, school staff, and other citizens on how to help an adolescent who's experiencing a mental health challenge. Leadership and bullying prevention programs are in place throughout the district under the leadership and guidance of our mental health specialists, school psychologists, and social workers.
I think the greatest thing that we can do to impact not only school safety, but children's overall well-being and mental health is to have good, stable, positive relationships with our kids. That's where it's at.
Henderson County Schools provides a safe learning environment for students and staff. Please be assured that the Henderson County Schools is committed to caring for your child as a cherished member of this community. We are Henderson County Schools, and we are strong.
Looking back at some of our initiatives in the district at our facilities, our maintenance department recently initiated and completed an energy savings project in many of our schools. And the project mainly revolved around lighting. We took out the old lighting and moved in new or installed new LED lighting in our gymnasiums, lobbies, cafeterias, hallways, and classrooms in the majority of our schools at this point. And that investment already has saved us over $70,000 in the first 7 months. And we still have a few schools to finish, so we know that that energy efficiency is going to work very well for us. We're excited to announce that we will be able to move into Spottsville this fall, and that we currently are waiting for the Kentucky Department of Education to approve the proposal we sent to them for Jefferson Elementary School. As soon as that approval is received, we'll be able to start the design process for that school. Spottsville and Jefferson are the only 2 schools that we plan to replace Other schools will need some major renovation and some updating, but as far as replacement, just Spottsville and Jefferson. Checking in to some of the changes that we have for next generation learning. At the very beginning, I mentioned that kids don't learn the way that we learned with the blackboard and the long eraser, nor is the world that they're going to enter when they walk down those last 8 steps anything like what we did when we graduated. So changes in our teaching style and our craft of teaching is always evolving. Our new science standards are very inquiry-driven, which will require our students, if they perform well, to think critically and be creative on those science assessments. This year, grades 3 through 12, we can say is 1-to-1. And I have people often in the community go, what exactly do you mean when you say it's 1-to-1? And so that's kind of our educational language to say that for every one student, we have one device. And the expectation is that those students use those Chromebooks in the classroom to enhance their learning as a tool, not the sole way that they are to be instructed, but as a tool through instruction and learning, and that they take it back and forth every day from home to school, and expectation is to bring it back fully charged every morning, just like you carry your textbooks or your notebooks back and forth. So we're very proud that we have a little over 6,000 devices, and thanks to our technology department that helps maintain those. I think right now Mr. Bailey and Mr. Gordon are working on setting up a student help desk at the Henderson County High School, because this is the first year that the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders have the Chromebooks 1-to-1. And so they had to figure out a way for repair and service, and they're putting together our students to be able to run that help desk in a real-life situation. Also starting this year, every media specialist, collaborating with their principal, requested funds from the district to create a STEM or STEAM lab in their media centers. The 3 common threads that were requested, and they weren't given guidelines other than think big, think outside the box, apply to see what you can do, things like that. But the common threads that we saw were coding, engineering, robotics, and the green screen media technology. So we're really excited to watch those STEAM or STEM labs develop and grow, and our students access the use of those on a weekly and daily basis. Our media specialists are also attending the Future Ready Media Specialist Conference and workshops that are held throughout the country as well, to continue to find ways and learn better how to make those innovative labs be very purposeful for our students. Educating our students actually oftentimes surpasses the regular day. We have 175 student days, 7 hours a day, but in Henderson, that expectation from the community, which we love, rises more than just the 175 days. And so I've listed on this screen several different ways that our community helps support us beyond the regular school day, where kids continue to have the opportunity to learn and be engaged in educational activities. So we partner with many community organizations that we're very proud to be associated with. Our parks help us a lot in the summer. Our mayor is very generous to us. Our judges, we have great communication and collaboration with them. I couldn't start to list everybody, or we would be here till noon. There's probably enough food to have lunch too, though, I think. But a big shout out to our county road department and how they work with us on many different aspects to make sure that our buses are able to travel safely. And we appreciate those genuine partners. Before we end our time today, I want to mention 2 other new initiatives that we have started this year. The first one is Building a Better Graduate, excelling as a national innovative leader in education. That is the vision of the Henderson County Schools, to excel as a national innovative leader. That's where we're going to get. And it is important because the 21st century expects our students to be able to thrive that way. Changes in society are driving the need for change in education, and we've experienced that in an information revolution that has occurred since technology has continued to grow. We live in a global, knowledge-based society, and we know that there are emphases on different things that our kids have to deal with that come from a political aspect, from scientific aspect, health and environmental issues that they learn about at a very young age. So we want to make sure that our students can excel both academically and with the life skills when they graduate Henderson County High School. To achieve the 21st century readiness for every student, we have developed a shared vision among key stakeholders that regard the skills that are listed on the screen. And these are the skills that over 200 students, staff, several of you were involved in, community, parents, business owners, to develop a profile of a graduate along with the coursework, along with their strong character development. What are the 5 skills that we agree our kids need to know when they walk down those last 8 steps? And those skills that were selected were collaboration, innovation, communication, initiative, and critical thinking. So where are we in that process right now? Our staff, they're working diligently to develop rubrics like scoring guides, a measuring tool for us to be able to use with our students, and so we can give our kids feedback on how well they do those skills every day in their classes. We're going to start in preschool and go all the way through grade 12. Now when you see an HCS Plus, you know that that will mean rigorous coursework, strong character development, and 5 world-class skills. We're committed to building better graduates in the Henderson County schools. The second exciting initiative that we're working on is a celebration. And we're super excited about this, just as much as we are when we talk about the academic achievements and student learning in our schools. On the first day of June in 1869, June 1, 1869, an act was passed incorporating the first Henderson public schools. And soon after, the citizens voted to ratify a $50,000 bond, which I think would be an extremely lot of money then, to build the first high school, and that was then opened in 1870. Now, there were schools documented in Henderson, in the Henderson County area, before 1869, but the formation of the public school with the Board of Trustees happened on June 1st in 1869. And so Henderson residents even then were noted in newspapers and publications as, quote, saying that they will build one of the finest institutions across the state, securing a core of teachers trained by the finest schools in the nation for the children of Henderson County. So the exciting piece is that we are starting to plan our Sesquicentennial Celebration, 150-year anniversary of the public schools in Henderson County. So there are many more details to come. How can you get involved in the Henderson County schools? Send us your pictures of 150 years worth of Henderson Public Schools. Don't send us the print versions. Take a picture and send it to us so we can digitally archive those. We don't want the framed versions. That would be a lot to store. So send us your digital ones, and we'll start to put those pictures into timelines of different decades, marked by decades. Also, please know that you can certainly volunteer in our schools. A lot of you do. You come and talk to the kids. You read to our students. Our community partners are invaluable. Thank you to our supporters that are here today. We truly would not be a progressive and successful school district if it wasn't for our community. If you have any questions when you leave here today, here is all the contact information that you need. And again, we appreciate your time. Tried to give you a general overview of where we think we are in our progress and our success. Your placemat gives you some more specific data, and our website is full of specific numbers and data as well. So I thank you for your time this morning. We have maybe 4 minutes until the 9 o'clock bell. If anybody has a question, I'll be glad to answer, and then there are principals and district office and other staff that are here that can certainly answer questions for you afterwards as well. Anybody have a simple question? I'll take hard ones too. Well, thank you all very much for your time, and we're very proud of the Henderson County Schools and the work that goes into it, and our students are very successful. Thank you for being our partners. Have a great day.